Okay, so we have a a sequence of space separated words. All of them are in lowercase, and there is a single space between consecutive words. So you have to write a function named exact count that accepts this string para and a positive integer n as arguments, and you have to return true if you can find at least one word in the string that occurs exactly n times. Okay, so let's take a test case and see what this means. So this is a test case, the para, this is n. Okay, so does this string have at least one word that occurs exactly three times? That's what the question is asking. So there is a word in this case, the word is good, it occurs exactly three times. Okay, and it's enough if there is at least one such word. You don't need every word to occur exactly three times. Can you find at least one word that occurs exactly three times? That's the idea. Okay, so let's write the function now. Exact count, right? That's the function name, I believe. Exact underscore count. So exact count, you accept para and n as arguments. And what do you have to do? You have to return true if at least one word occurs exactly n times. Okay, how do we proceed? We need to count the number of times words occur. Okay, a particular word occurs, we have to count the number of times. So this should remind you of the frequency dictionary in the lectures, right? That was discussed in the lectures. So let's go ahead and initialize a dictionary called frequency that's going to store the frequency of distinct words in the string para. So what do we do now? We have to iterate over the string, but then that will only, what will that do? You can only iterate over the characters in the string, right? What we want to iterate over is the individual words in the string. So even before we create a dictionary, what should we do? We need to split the string based on space so that we get a list of words. So para, I'm going to split it based on space, that will give me a list of strings. Okay, since space is the default delimiter for the split method, I can get rid of that. So para.split will now return a list of strings. So I could either use the variable name L, or in this case, since they're all words, I'll use words as the name of the list that's going to store the list of strings. Okay, now words is a list of words, okay, list of strings, and frequency is an empty dictionary, and we can now start iterating over each word in the list. So for word in words, if this word is not yet a key in the dictionary freak, I can create this key and set its value to 0. Outside the if block, I can update the count or frequency of this particular word. Okay, this is one way of populating the dictionary. Okay, we'll come back and see other ways of doing this. Now, once I have the dictionary with me, what should I do? Find out if at least one word occurs exactly n times. So for that, we have to iterate through the keys of the dictionary. So for word in freak, if freak of word double equal to n, return true. So you keep going through each iteration in this for loop, and if you are not able to find a single word that has this count exactly equal to n, you can return false. Okay, let's first check this out. Let's submit it and see what we get. Should hopefully pass. It should hopefully pass all private test cases. So there are only three in this case, and it passes all of them. So this is one solution. Now let's look at some variations, right? So let's look at this dictionary part, iterating over the keys of the dictionary. See, I anyway need to access the values of the dictionary. So what I can do is, instead of iterating through the keys like this, I can iterate over the key value pair. So for word comma count in frequency dot items, this is how you iterate through the key value pairs. If count is double equal to n, then return true. Right? So if count double equal to n, then return true. Let's see if that is also valid. Okay, so that's also valid. Now let's go back. Now notice that you actually don't need the key at all. You only need the values. So what you could instead do is, for value in frequency dot values. Okay, this will actually, this frequency dot values will return what is called a view object, but that's not important. What is important is you can iterate over the values of a dictionary this way. If value is double equal to n, return true. Okay, this is another variation. So let's again test this. Let's always test whenever we update the solution. Okay, for three test cases you should not take so long. Anyway, so that's again 3 out of 3 private tests passed. Now, yes, okay, get back. Okay, so that is another solution, right? So we have seen a bunch of variations along this these with respect to these three lines of code, right, where we are iterating over the keys of the dictionary. What we could also now check is how can we populate this dictionary. So another way of populating is this dictionary is for word in words. If word is already a key, if word in freak, then frequency of word plus equal to 1. If word is not yet a key, then frequency of word is equal to 1. Okay, so this is, maybe some of you are used to this way of populating a dictionary. This is also valid, right? So if this is the first time you are encountering this key, make the value 1. If not, increment its count. Okay, so again, this is another way of doing it. And there is a third way, which is something that I will make a note here. So for word in words, okay, frequency dot get, there is a get method for dictionary. So frequency dot get of word comma 0. What this will do is, if word is a key in frequency, it will return the value corresponding to word. If word is not yet a key in the dictionary, then it will return the value 0, because that is what we are asking it to return. Okay, this is the default. There is a default return value. In this case, I am setting the return value to be 0 if word is not a key in frequency, if not yet a key in frequency. Okay, so now frequency of word equal to this plus 1, okay, is also, this is also a way of populating the dictionary. So what, let's quickly look at this code and see what happens. See, if word is already a key of the dictionary, then frequency dot get word of 0, word comma 0 will give us the current frequency. You increment that by 1 and you update the frequency of that particular key. So this works fine when word is already there as a key in the dictionary. If it is not, then this will return 0. This call will return 0, or it will evaluate to 0. I'm adding 1 to 0, so this whole thing becomes 1. Okay, so frequency of a new key now becomes 1, because I'm encountering that particular key slash word for the first time. Okay, so this is another valid way of populating dictionaries. So let's submit this. Okay, so again, 3 out of 3 private tests have passed. Now let's not stop here. Let's go back to the code. Let's go back to the code and ask this question. So, could we have done this in any other manner? The answer is yes. Okay, so let me delete the whole thing and let's try to solve this without using a dictionary. So, words are again, as usual, going to be obtained by splitting para by space. So, there's a list of words. Now, what can we do? Just look at this approach. So, for each word in the set of words, so what will set of words do? Set of words will return the set of words, as it says, right? So it will be a set of all distinct words in the list words. Okay. Now for word in set of words, if words dot count the number of times this word appears in the list words, if that is equal to doubly equal to n, then return true. If not, come outside the loop and return false. So first let's try to run this once again. Okay, again 3 out of 3 tests have passed. So what are we doing here? So words is a list of words. It will contain duplicates also, right? So I am interested in iterating to the distinct words in the list. So what I do is I use set of words to extract all the distinct words in the list words. I iterate through each one of these words and I check how many times it occurs in the list words. So words dot count of word will return the frequency of word in the list words, which is what I want, right? So if that is w equal to n, return true because that word occurs exactly n times. If no word occurs exactly n times, get out and return false. Perhaps this is a simpler way of solving it. So one final point, this doesn't really need to be set of words. It will also work if you iterate through words, okay? But anyway, so we used set of words here. Okay, so that's the end of the solution to this problem.